you're in my domain. Got the whole crowd screaming out our name. It's a blowout, it's a hurricane, it's over. Before you know it, we're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights for the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory.
Welcome back, ladies and gents, dito sa 2018 Low Varsity League Spring Playoffs, kung saan matitingnan natin kung makakamount kaya ng reverse sweep ang DLSU against Bulacan State University. We'll just find out in a teeny bit when we head into Game 4. Pero syempre, bago natin pag-usapan yung game na to, kami maging casters niyo for this match in general. Arctic ulit, syempre kasama ko ngayon si Chisto, and what a game that we had earlier, man.
Yeah, syempre kami pa rin magiging casters nyo kung hindi pa naman kayo nagsasawa sa mga mukha at bosses namin. Pero guys, yun nga, gaya na sinabi ni Arctic, what a game we just had. DLSU keeping their playoff dreams alive against Bulacan State University, and considering the way that game went, you have to add it Spring, the way he popped off on that Zoe, and Esper as well, not dying at all, at all on the Zac. That's what I meant to say, guys. I'm sorry, but yeah, we're headed into this fourth game, and if I do hear this correctly, I think Mirmo is playing now.
Yes,
for
correct.
DLSU. So the sub in, gonna bring in the big guns for this one, Arctic, and I'm very interested to see how this next game will pan out, because if the question you mounted, can DLSU mount that reverse sweep, will come to fruition, winning that game 3 is just the start for them.
I guess we'll find out in a tiny bit.
Ipa.
Yes.
Yeah, in a bit.
In a tiny little bit.
Ito
But
na,
of course,
pick and ban na tayo eh.
Yeah.
Malalaman na natin.
dito na tayo magkakalaman. Dito pa lang sa pick and ban phase. Once again, ito ang BULSU tsaka DLSU Coastal X versus Arcus. Let's head on to it. Wondering if we're going to be seeing some interesting shakeups with the composition this time around. Because I think for Bulacan State University, without a doubt, I think hindi na nila maulit kung ano yung strategy na ng game 1 and 2. Probably
Yes.
game 3 as well. Because I think DLSU has, at this point, with 3 games past, medyo nagkaroon sila ng magandang read on how to work around Bulacan State University. And that's what I've been voicing out earlier to be a concern when it comes to BULSU, na in a best of 5, what I fear is that mas nagiging readable sila in terms of how they play the game.
Yeah,
So,
and that's one of the things you mentioned. In a best of 5, teams could read your strategies. You can, DLSU can have the option of adjusting, adapting to how the series has been going on so far. And one great adaptation that they get for Game 3 was actually banning out the Sivir from Bulacan State University. So far, though, they have banned away the Nocturne and the Vladimir, still waiting on that last ban. I'm expecting it to be the Sivir. If it's anything else, it will be quite an interesting choice or decision by Virtus Arcus.
yeah, what direction is DLSU gonna go this time around?
Yep.
Yeah,
Sivir.
okay, yep. There
Yeah.
you go.
No, none of that weird. Let's not ban Sivir. Decide to just give it over to BULSU, because BULSU are playing on the blue side, meaning they have pick priority. Let's see what they decide to go for in their first pick. So Morgana might be the pickup here. Gonna most likely go into Ralph's hands, one of the champions he is quite proficient on.
Yeah, now that I realize, not just Ralph, but outside of LVL, based on Pilio's history as a player, because I've actually managed to follow him quite a bit when he was active with Asian Arena.
Yeah.
There you go. That was like way back. So, and interesting enough, like if I'm not mistaken, si Mirmo rin yung naging
Yes.
ADC niya doon. So, they found their way back together. That's
It's
so
a massive
cute.
throwback. It's a massive throwback.
But yeah, nonetheless, Billy is also a very proficient Morgana player. As we saw naman kanina during Game 3,
Yes.
then it was on point with a lot of those Dark Bindings, timings on the Black Shield. So, what do we have here?
Okay, Master Yi, the next lock-in should be Tarek. If it's not Tarek, I'll be so mad at Bulacan State University.
Oh,
Yes!
no!
Oh my God, I'm sorry. Okay. Master
I'll leave this to you,
Yi-Tarik.
man.
Master Yi-Tarik. It started in the Chinese solo queue as a strategy for gaining elo.
Okay.
It made its way into competitive League of Legends via the LCK. Over there in Korea, they call it the Mata strategy. Master Yi and Tarik combined. And this is very interesting to me because they also have the Morgana. They essentially got all the great picks here for the Master Yi Tarik setup. This might be Bulacan State University's trump card to take out DLSU once and for all. But DLSU also have the trap card for this game. They brought out Mirmo to play the bot lane position. Not necessarily sure whether or not he'll be playing an AD carry. You do have the Lucian, which could very much go to anyone on the side of DLSU.
That's for sure. Meanwhile, looking at
Master Yi Tarik.
I'm in awe right now. Oh my God.
Finally.
I'm wondering,
Finally.
like, can this day get any more crazier? But we'll find out based
no.
on these bans so far. Looks like Orin as well as the Swain. Lulu as well gonna be taken away from Ralph, really choking out.
Okay, the Lulu is a smart ban because normally with the Master Yi Tarik, you'd want to have a Lulu on your team and a Karma as well. So DLSU actually denied two of the supports that would want to go with the rest of Bulacan State University's lineup. So smart bans here. Shen as well, one of the picks that goes well with this. DLSU are playing really good defense right now, showing that they can't deny these picks from completing the full-on combo of the Master Yi Tarik.
Definitely know how to work around what tools are needed.
Ooh.
We're using a bit of a hover over Darius. Okay, so that's going to be the lock-in as well. So Chris, okay, not necessarily a hyper carry, but it's nice to see just a general change of pace for the top lane of Bulacan State University. Wondering how they're going to be...
Okay. Let's just take a second to comprehend what is happening right now. Bulacan State University have not locked in a marksman. This is very common in 8.12. They've locked in the Master Yi Tarik, something that we've seen in solo queue, but they have a Karthus Arctic. I do not know what is going through their minds right now. They seem pretty happy about this, but over in the side of DLSU, they also have a bit of a pocket pick here. Aurelion Sol gonna fly his way into the mid lane, the ever fabulous Cosmic Dragon.
To my question earlier, can this day get any crazier? Yes, it can.
You got this, Chisto. I got it. Okay, guys. So,
Enlighten me.
if you guys are tuning in just now, this is definitely a competitive League of Legends, guys. We don't pick marksmen anymore. This is very much what these teams are going for. Empyrean is playing the Karthus. He doesn't want to play an AD carry. Don't want to be playing standard against Mirmo in the bot lane. So, why not just lock in the Karthus?
Why not indeed? And I'm still trying to gather myself, but nonetheless, I won't have that moment because, ready or not, we're heading into Game 4. Once again, it's BULSU X of Bulacan State University versus Viridis Arcus of De La Salle University. Are we going to head into a Game 5, or will the craziness that BULSU X drafted this game actually pull them into the finals? We'll find out as we head on to the Rift.
Of course, Empyrean is running Predator on the Karthus. And of course, we're going to see an invade. Good attempt right there by Bulacan State University, but Spring, lucky enough, will spot that out. So as this game progresses, Arctic, I will try to comprehend what is BULSU trying to pull off here
Yes.
against De La Salle University, because DLSU, during the second part of their picking phase in the draft, it felt as if they were denying picks rather than going for something that went with the rest of their comp. They picked up the Karma and then they picked up the Shen, which is what most teams would pair with the Master Yi Tarik. But it looks like BULSU just watched a bunch of LCK games and then decided, okay, this looks OP, let's just pick it up for our team. And
Yep.
yeah,
They're going to roll with it.
halo-halo na lang eh. They have Master Yi Tarik, they have Karthus with Predator, they have Darius in the top lane.
Did I mention that Bulacan State University has habits when it comes to how they draft? Except the Morgana, I'm gonna crumple that paper, throw that out the window, because this is definitely a shakeup that they had prepared all this time heading into the playoffs. And in all fairness, they did have that extra time to prepare for just that. I mean, they had that
Master Yi
extra day, Master Yi. You know, one thing that I do find positive about this is who has been Bulacan State University's trump card throughout the group stage. I'd say for me personally, it's been Yesh for the most part. He's been pretty dominating, and I think this is like the apex of how you'd want to utilize Yesh to his max capacity. Of course, the question still lies in whether or not Bulacan State University can execute this composition, because the last time we did see a team use this comp, it failed miserably. At least in
Yes.
competitive play here in the Philippines.
I think the last time we saw this Master Yi Tarek strat in the LVL was UPD during the group stage, but they did lose that game to DLSU. And you know, I feel like DLSU have set up a decent counter here to the Master Yi and Tarek. They have the Aurelion Sol, which will always be shoving in the mid lane, so since the minions will be... Oh, hold that thought. Grab for the flash.
Yep, holding on to route right there. Ignite has been popped in. Esper goes in just the right jump for first blood. Go into Mirmo.
Okay, going back, I'd like to discuss why I feel like DLSU have countered this Master Yi Tarek strat really, really good. One thing in the mid lane that the Tarek has to do, he has to hold the wave, freeze the wave before it hits the tower so that the E can pick up the farm. But since Spring is playing Aurelion Sol, the minion wave will always be shoving instantly towards the tower, so the minions will be denied and the E will lose a bit of farm. And one more issue with running this Master Yi Tarek strat is you won't have a real jungler, in a sense where you won't have the same side lane pressure that Esper has. Like we saw earlier, Esper already pulled off a gank in the bot lane. That won't happen in this game.
Meanwhile, Exhaust gonna go in onto Spring. Spring is trying to walk a straight line. Stun unfortunately won't connect, but it's just enough Alpha Strike for the kill. Going to Yesh.
I just mentioned that DLSU have a counter, but that is not how Spring should be playing that. He steps too far forward, not respecting the exhaust to come out. Hesitates to flash early. Aurelion Sol will go down there. A kill onto the Mastery is huge for this comp because the general idea is they want to funnel all of the gold into this Mastery. Gusto nilang palamangin to siya. She's gonna get his core item. Gonna go for the Blood Razor and then the Ginsu's Rage Blade. And then possibly a QSS if he wants to go that route. But generally, that's what BULSU wants to get onto this Mastery. You see his farm already around double of what Esper has, so on the right track at the moment.
Yeah, Empyrean trying to get a few pokes here and there onto Mirror earlier. We did see Esper lingering towards that bottom side. Was trying to look around too. Wasn't really the case, just backed away. But I actually like that point you brought up earlier about how by Yesh not really being a jungler per se with the nature of how he functions across the map. But speaking of functions and roaming across the map, that's going to be Swain going straight. Unfortunately, doesn't land the crowd control stun onto Bulacan State University. Just going to have to back away for now. But yeah, as I was saying, it kind of goes pro and con here for me because yes, you want to amplify Yesh as one of your key players on Bulacan State University, but on the flip side, isn't the success that Bulacan State University has found in Yesh in the first place was because of his ganks? So it goes both ways in a way.
Yeah, that's one of the primary problems if you're playing the Master Yi Tarek comp. You won't have a real jungler in a sense where Yesh will have the side lane pressure, and it really puts a lot of strain on their side lanes where they're pressured to win the top and million. But looks like Chris will get ganked here. Oh my god!
Look at the damage onto Karna. Gonna flash in, gonna try to salvage that, but of course gonna have to back away. Tries to get one more hit onto Karna, won't do the trick and goes down for the kill.
Yeah, the slow from the Trundle Pillar, not allowing Chris to close the gap and finish off that kill onto the Shen. I really felt like he could have gone for that 2v1 there, but just really close margins gives DLSU the win there in the top lane.
Meanwhile, looking down here, take note, Pilio has made a recall, teleport back, coming in from Chris, just so that he can meet up in this wave. Meanwhile, looks like another dive attempt, and which actually leads to fruition for Yesh here. Luckily, manages to heal up in the nick of time.
And I can feel Yesh and Vial laughing after that dive onto Spring's Aurelion Sol, not having the best time here in the mid lane. The moment that the Master Yi closes the gap, Aurelion Sol really has no tools to escape, no real ways to stop the Yi from hitting him or trying to disengage. So that will be the tough task here for Spring. But yeah, going back, BULSU's side lanes do have to fend for themselves, I think. They need to try and survive their laning phase. And so far, Empyrean pushing in Mirmo is massive for them.
Yeah,
Look at all these characters. Oh,
something I personally wasn't expecting to see this lane ever push towards the side of DLSU. Unfortunately, Esper gonna get spotted out, signaling Ralph and Imperial to play a bit more safer here. Looks like Vial and Yesh are back at it here in the mid lane, in which case Spring gonna get one hit onto Yesh. Will be just fine though.
Oh,
goes
no.
straight back in, but take note, he's going in with Esper just around the corner. That's gonna be the hold right there. Yesh unfortunately won't be surviving until now Vial's gonna be regretting it because he's gonna be going down for the count as well. One more hit, Spring gets the kill.
yeah, a bit too greedy there by both Vial and Yesh. They didn't necessarily need to go for that all-in onto Spring's Aurelion Sol. Esper was at the right place at the right time. Yesh did not pop in his meditate soon enough. They pick up the kill onto the Master Yi. Delays him a bit here, but still, he is up in levels compared to both mid and jungle of DLSU. He already completed his Blood Razor, so it means he's gonna clear jungle camps even faster now. So BULSU just gets delayed a bit, but still on track to have this Yi pop off.
Yeah, definitely would have been much more ideal if they were in a better spot, but better somewhere than behind, that's for sure. Meanwhile, Esper actually sneaking his way towards Dragon. Actually, first time, if I'm not mistaken, that with DLSU going to be taking the first Dragon of the game against Wilhelm State University, in fact.
Yeah, and you know, Arctic, one thing that DLSU could do to shut down the funnel strat into the Master Yi is to have Esper invade the enemy jungle and deny camps. But looking at how the rest of the lanes are panning out, DLSU hasn't been enabling the Trundle to invade and deny those camps from the Master Yi, but it looks like DLSU are going to go for the 5-man play down bot lane.
Yeah, looks like they're going to go straight for a route. That's going to be the taunt in. Going to get a cleanup right there on both members down in the bot lane for Bulacan State University. And this is going to be an easy, sweet take on the bot turret if they do. Yesh a little bit in too late on the party. Can he try to go for Pilio here though? Would be a bit dangerous though. 5 members, take note. Still up and kicking for DLSU. Gives a bit time for Chris here to take the top lane. Yesh gonna try to mount a defense here. Here comes Bial, gonna walk into Karna though.
Oh no!
Might be caught in a tricky situation himself. Goes for the stun. Lucky for him to go for the flash. Yesh actually gonna go in. Might have bit off more than he could chew, and that was terrible. Abangan sa susunod na kabanata ng LVL.
I'm really questioning the decision by Yesh to go back in for that Alpha Strike onto Karna, I believe. Vial was level 5. There's no Cosmic Radiance onto your target, no flash as well. No real follow-up, no protection for that Master Yi. You're overestimating your damage now.
Oh,
It is dead.
look at Imperial able to land that last view right there for the kill, but so far not really panning out well for Bulacan State University now, is it? Considering the big goal difference that we're seeing at only 10 minutes into the game.
Well, when you're running a funnel strat such as this one, you're bound to lose gold in your side lanes since you won't have that real jungle pressure. They're gonna lose their matchups. Mirma already picked up 4 kills onto the solution, and it just begs the question, Arctic, how far behind is BULSU willing to let themselves fall before they decide that, okay, it's time for us to group up and just give the Yi everything and start these fights.
Meanwhile, looks like BULSU starting to group up here towards this mid lane. Irmo and Pilio have been sent to deal with just that. Gonna halt BULSU in their tracks for now. But yeah, this has been a worry for me about Bulacan State University going about this kind of composition. Because, like I mentioned, if there's teams that I respect that has a great grasp on the game, UST probably one of them, DLSU another. So it's not really as surprising to me that DLSU pretty much knew how to go about the grafting phase. As soon as they saw Bulacan State University field both the Master Yi and Tarek within the first rotation of picks. That being said, I'm kind of worrying for what will happen in the long run if ever Bulacan State University can really get Yesh ahead, in which case Ultimate coming up from the Carthage though, that is going to be them backing away for now. They'll teleport coming from the back line. Will effectively halt Yesh from backing away. That will be the kill going to Mirmo. Vial will be the next to fall. Route might want to back away this time around because DLSU, they're going to go for the siege in the mid lane.
Yeah, and that's a disaster for Bulacan State University. Once again, they go for the all-in. Even though the Cosmic Radiance went down, DLSU were able to kite back, reset the fight, use their globals. They respond just in time to take down the Master Yi. Now Chris is in a lot of trouble here. We'll get taunted up.
Oh man, we'll receive the full wrath of both Esper and Karna chasing him down. flash incoming from Esper to secure the kill. That will be Ralph falling as well. Things are just spiraling out of control for Bulacan State University to even handle at this point.
Yeah, DLSU have set up the perfect counter to this Mastery entire comp. Since they denied the Karma and the Shen during the pick and ban phase, which might have been the picks that BULSU would have wanted to go for, BULSU were forced to go on this Karthus and this Darius in their side lane. So the gold, even though it is different, I think what counts for BULSU is that the G doesn't fall that far behind.
Not at all.
The thing that they have to watch out for here is how much gold is actually onto Yesh and compare that to the rest of DLSU. But looking at just KDAs here, Mirmo having 7 kills, it's gonna be a tough task for BULSU to actually continue funneling gold into the sea.
Yeah, and this is the massive risk when you run these type of compositions. Either you execute to the T, it's basically very high risk, very, very high reward. But unfortunately, the risk is clearly coming into play over less of the reward. So if this continues to continue in the pace for DLSU, I think it's very just so easy to say that we could expect a game 5 at this point. It's a risk that Bulacan State University took. Unfortunately, just not panning out for them.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, Arctic. But yeah, it seems like the picks that we were trying to comprehend aren't as OP as we had expected. But
Chris in the top lane. Chris tries to get the pull in, but that is one dead Darius. As it's actually Pilio that secures the kill, but just all the more takes for DLSU in this game.
yeah, BULSU are beginning to fall apart here. Not really having the best time on their mastery, but this is a legitimate strategy, but you need to execute on it. You need to play it properly if you want it to work out for your team. Now, Spring is not afraid to push forward. See, he has a stand united available. That's why he's not afraid.
Yup, manages to push back Bulacan State University, and looks like moment of invulnerability, but Yesh unfortunately gonna suffer the massive bulk of damage that DLSU was able to mount, locking him down effectively. Gal might be the next to fall. Looks like Bulacan State University might want to disperse at this point. Looks like Chris and MP will back away along with Ralph. 2 casualties for nothing in favor of Julius Arcus.
Yeah, on these funnel strategies, you can't afford to fall behind, but you can't afford to fall behind this much. DLSU are well and truly snowballed in this game. BULSU are gonna run out of answers to what DLSU is asking them.
Yes, and that's gonna be the turret sake right here in the mid lane. And actually, Red Herald pushing comfortably towards the top side as well, so that's massive pressure across the map being exerted by DLSU. And they might actually go for Dragon, in which case as the cherry on top.
Yeah, Infernal Drake, not just a great pickup for them, a great denial as well, since BULSU would have wanted to get more stats, more damage stats for their team, but DLSU have just set up the perfect counter to this Mastery Taric.
Exactly, and it's really... I just really can't see as many angles for Bulacan State University to get back into the game, because that's the risk that they ran with. I mean, it's either sink or swim with this composition. And fortunately, it's mostly been a sink in this game. So, if anything, it's kind of back to the drawing board heading into Game 5, which they might want to think much more carefully.
Yeah, their ship seems to have quite a few holes in them, Arctic, and I can feel the doubt in you sort of settle in here. I can tell by the way you look that you want to ask BULSU, what are you doing, Bulacan State University?
It's not really the what you're doing, it's why you do it.
It's more of the why and not the
Yeah.
what. It's bakit yung ginawa to? And
But I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's a risk that, in all fairness, not every team would take. It's just that they're not really paying off in the end. So heading into Game 5,
maybe that's why teams don't take that risk.
Yes, exactly, because it's something that's really, really complicated to execute. And I think heading into Game 5, definitely might not want to... Because I think this is something that we discussed before, wherein do you adjust to the patch or do you play something that has been tried and tested to your comfort? And I think this is one of the reasons why taking that kind of risk with the current patch has these type of repercussions.
If that had landed, I would have prompted an engage. Do note though that if Yesh decides to jump in, there will always be a stand united on top of whoever he decides to jump on. And once the Shen arrives, the Spirit's Refuge means that the auto attacks from the Mastery will be dodged away. So that's good protection, but looks like Mirma will be going for an all-in on the Empyrean.
Yep, Empyrean just gets the full culling off of Mirmo right there. Yesh gonna try to speed his way in a little bit too late for the party. We'll just have to settle for clearing out those waves instead. But I don't know, man. This strategy started to backfire on Bulacan State University immensely. And DLSU, they're gonna... Whatever rewards Bulacan State University hope to reap, definitely DLSU doing just that in the trade.
Yeah, Lucian not afraid to dash in front of the Carthage, knowing that hindi makakabawi si Empyrean if something does happen. Now, BULSU trying to delay this tower for as long as they can from going down. The Carthage doing his job. Ooh, trying to land as many Qs as possible. Oh no! Diabot.
Yeah, Spring just kind of styles his way through. Meanwhile, Empyrean take much damage from DLSU, looking to siege in on the second turret towards the top side. Here comes Yesh though, will be clearing out the rest of those waves, but this is just constant pressure from DLSU in this game.
Yeah, I mean, if Yesh decides to pull the trigger, it's always stand united from Karna. He doesn't necessarily need to group with the rest of his team. He can just constantly push whichever lane he chooses to. And I feel like we've gone past the point where Chris is a legitimate threat to the Shen. He has enough armor to survive the Darius. Chris is not having the best game. Carly 0-3 and 0. There is the teleport happening at the moment though. This is gonna help them secure this tower. The 5th tower of the game going down to De La Salle University. And Yesh is slowly running out of places where he can farm safely.
Yep, and that's a bit of a deficiency right here. Like the only thing that Yesh is mostly relying on at this point, if lucky enough, their own camps, not to mention whatever waves naturally push in onto Bulacan State University. That's not really an ideal scenario. Ideally, at this point in the game, Yesh wants to be the dominating force that just cleans up De La Salle University, farm off on the champions themselves, not just the minions and the camps, which pretty much Bulacan State University is restricted to. So it's just really not just a tall order, probably like a heavy venti order with how Bulacan State University can get back. Not really tall anymore, is it?
Yeah, now, even though Yesh has secured his 2-item power spike with the Blood Razor and the Ginsu's Rage Blade, I feel like the members of DLSU will be able to melt him super quickly if he does decide to go in. Now, there is a bit of a catch onto Esper, but Spring is here to do zoning duties.
Yes, indeed. Teleport coming in from Chris. Gonna want to cancel that out. Might not want to get caught between that pillar for the kill. So DLSU waiting for that Baron to come up. Knows very well that they could potentially take it. All it takes is just one lockdown on Yesh if ever he tries to go for the steal, in which case.
Yeah, and even if Yesh would be immune to all damage while in the Cosmic Radiance, one thing he isn't is immune to crowd control. So Karna can still taunt the Yi onto him. The bot lane, he will be using Apprehend here.
Ooh, looks like Yesh gonna come in, taking a bit of a while, but Chris ultimately landing the kill, in which case bring a little bit in too late for the party. Just one small victory for BULSU. Are they back in the game? Still a bit of a way to go, but DLSU, speaking of which, gonna be taking the Baron, making the number of visible members of Bulacan State University earlier, the goal signal to delete this particular buff. Karth is gonna pop his ultimate. Just deals a bit of damage right there, not gonna deter DLSU from taking this. Actually, it does.
Yeah, it went down a bit too slowly right there. Mirmo not having that real Baron damage. He only has the Blade Ruin King and the Black Cleaver. The LSU tried to go for that Baron rush since they saw Yesh collapse towards the bot lane. So a bit of breathing room here bot after that pick onto the Shen.
Yes, I like how DLSU not really forcing things too much. I mean, they are massively ahead, so they don't need to take as many risks at this point in the game. I mean, sure, might not be able to take Baron right now. We can always just come back for it. We have the heavy lead anyway.
I want to see though how much gold has actually been funneled onto this Mastery. He does have 240 CS, highest CS in the game, but hasn't picked up any more items. He's been sitting on quite a lot of gold. if I were to assume. But Ocean Drake did get picked up there by DLSU, their 4th Drake of the game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, triple Ocean Drake, so a lot of sustain on the side of DLSU. Now, I wonder what item Yesh decides to go for. QSS would be the usual option, the usual buy on the Master Yi, but Jorim's Fist and Health Crystal. What is that gonna turn into? I do not know. I don't know. Usually it's QSS so that he can cleanse out of whatever CC is stopping him, but just gonna go for that extra HP, probably add more survivability.
Hopefully grants him just that. So far though, has reached a little bit of a stale point. I mean, earlier I've been mentioning how the gold lead at 16 minutes has been around 6,000 to 7,000, but like these past few minutes hasn't really propelled into anything farther for DLSU. So has been a bit more calm these past few minutes, if you will.
Yeah, and you'd imagine the longer this game goes, the more it favors the team that is playing from behind, the more it favors the team that needs to funnel gold onto this Master Yi, which for the most part has been farming is way up in terms of has been getting a lot of CS across the map, but not really that many champions, not many kills.
Which is a bit unfortunate, but then again, since this game is far from over, Bulacan State University is continuing. Look how they're sticking to the plan regardless.
You gotta commit,
because the moment you deviate, then that could just cause all the more problems when you're running this kind of comp. But ooh, stun unfortunately for Yesh, and that's a flash wasted for the Master Yi.
Yeah, I like the idea there from Yesh. I'm gonna try to flash over the Aurelion Sol stun so that I can Alpha Strike on top of him. But flash down on the Yi is quite big here for De La Salle University.
Yes, of course, something that they could capitalize on. Take note of how grouped up they are towards Baron in the midst of that. Probably estimating that maybe, just maybe, Bulacan State University will read the lack of vision on DLSU as them potentially taking Baron. But unfortunately, BULSU not going to bite on that.
Yeah, Mirma just went back to base, picked up the Essence Reaver on this Lucian, so he's pretty much online on his Lucian.
Online doesn't cover it. He's on fiber, 100 gig.
Naka-dial up pa lang yung ano, yung Yi ng BULSU, tas naka-fiber na to si Mirmo. Kaso si Karna,
yes.
Yeah, he's dead.
I think that's actually a good way to go because with the Shen isolated, he can't stand United himself. So
yeah, it's a pretty smart play for BULSU to make. So maybe this is the point where Karna should just group with the rest of the team. Yeah,
and look at this. The gold lead is slowly closing out here. So it's only a matter of time we're in DLSU. They need to start acting once again. Because if this reaches too much of a scale, okay. So they're going to go for it. Confident that Karna will be able to rendezvous with the rest of the team in the nick of time. Question is, take note, Chris is far across the map. Looks like they're going to turn once again. Teleport is coming in from Chris.
Oh,
Bulacan State University, they're going to take this fight right here. Mirmo managing to slay Empyrean. Bulacan State University will just content themselves with halting the Baron take for the meantime. But take note, Karna is up right now. So is his Stand United DLSU. They could comfortably take this Baron buff should they wish for round 3.
I wonder what Empyrean was thinking right there. Flashing in, it almost looked comedic from my point of view, but I think he wanted to execute himself and then use ultimate. But right now his ult looks like it is on cooldown. I wonder what happened right there, but that almost looked like BULSU's fight.
Almost. Like, we were starting to build up, but it fell short. But like I mentioned, this could be all the more an easier opportunity for DLSU to take this Baron, given that Karna already has his Stand United. Take note, teleport actually coming in here. DLSU actually back away once again.
Okay, at this point, BULSU is gonna have to make a choice. Do we deal with the Shen in the bot lane, or do we stop the Baron pressure being applied to us by DLSU? Because this is the play that DLSU will make. They're gonna force BULSU to make a bad decision. If they take the Baron fight, then Karna TPs into the fight. If they go for Karna, DLSU takes Baron. So which does BULSU value more? I think you go for the Baron defense.
Yes, and it's such a shame because this was a point wherein Chris was already going for a defense towards the bottom side. This would have been an optimal time to have gone for that Baron, although that wasn't really the case. Some of the members of DLSU were backing away at the time, so Slightly missed opportunity right there. Would have preferred if Chris got a better push in onto this wave, but probably just taking the extra precaution to make his way to rendezvous with the rest of his teammates in case a fight does break out for this Baron.
Yeah, and you know, Arctic, this is a very scary situation for DLSU to be in because the way that they slowed down, it's allowing Yesh to pick up more items on this mastery. It's allowing Empyrean to fly under the radar and get more items on his card, but it's a catch.
Gonna go straight for Esper right here. Will Stand United be expended? Unfortunately, Bulacan State University not able to force it, but in the meantime, it's actually going towards Spring as they go straight for Empyrean. Take note, Empyrean's ultimate, okay, gonna be expended right now to dish out extra damage onto DLSU, but still the numbers are in DLSU's play.
Oh, no.
They're gonna converge onto Karna right here though, taunting in onto Chris. Ralph, unfortunately, missing out on the Dark Binding. Moment of stasis. Will it be enough for Karna to survive to tell the tale? Chris could easily, looks like just gonna preserve his ultimate in order for the next fight. Yesh gets the shutdown onto the Trundle, but Exchange gets shut down himself. Looks like Bulacan State University might want to back away in this case, but Chris, he actually wants to try to continue the fight, but look at Mirmo shredding through all the health from the members of BULSU. Trying to go for Chris. Will he dash in? No, that won't be the case. Will restrain himself for now, but unfortunately, Yesh went way too early on in the fight, which effectively pushes DLSU for the victory. Vial would be the next to fall, and down he goes.
Yeah, that might have been the fight for Bulacan State University, but yes, she went in too early like you mentioned, Arctic. The Cosmic Radiance was not on top of him yet. It didn't go down in time. DLSU were able to burst him down before the invulnerability came. And now they're going to take every building away.
Yes, and this is just going to make for a very easy take for DLSU at this point onto Baron Nashor. And I don't know, from what I thought was going to go back to Tall, pretty much straight up went back to Venti of an order for BULSU to deal with.
They can still try and respond to this Baron. They can push out these waves in the mid and top lane and have enough time. But if Yesh face checks, Yesh face checks.
Oh no, but if not, might not have face checked, but gonna find himself in a sticky situation, gets taken down by DLSU, and this is finally the signal. 9-1-1, we're going for Baron.
Yeah, no, definitely will be the Baron here for De La Salle University. No mastery on the map, no fear at all. There's no one on the side of BULSU that can challenge this. Yesh ran into the wrong corner.
Yes, indeed. Wrong corner, should have just backed away, just get caught in a pincer from DLSU, and I think this could be DLSU ultimately landing it for game number 5. Might want to cue the Silver Scrapes later, Chisto.
Silver Scrapes na naman ba tayo, Arctic? Aabot na naman ba tayo dyan sa game 5 na yan? That is the question right now. But it is very much so looking like DLSU will be forcing that game 5.
Yes, and I could only imagine what's going through the minds of Bulacan State University right now, because taking such a high risk and not really reaping the rewards, especially in such a dominating fashion in DLSU's case, that could definitely affect the player's psyche in these type of situations.
Yeah, no, another Ocean Drake just gonna go over for free to DLSU. They're just gonna take that one. Now they're gonna push down the bot lane. The only lane that has the inhibitor up left, so this is the safe and logical play for DLSU to make. Can Bulacan State University use his mastery? He already has his QSS. He has the tools that he needs if he wants to shred through DLSU, but still a tough task considering DLSU have set up a very... No, Pilio!
Yep, that's going to be the stun set up right there. Redemption has been popped earlier on. Spring coming in from the backside, but Yesh just gets decimated. Unfortunately, this could be the last stand for Bulacan State University as members of them fall one by one. It's only Ralph and Empyrean that's going to survive, but with bot lane for BULSU already behind as is, I think it's going to be the Silver Scrapes playing into Chisto. That's going to be Inhibitor turret. You're going to get the Inhibitor. Easy takedown onto the Nexus turret as well. Nexus turrets are gonna fall. Empyrean in, well, just Empyrean at this point. Ralph already did go down. Actually gets the kill onto Karma, but that's just a minor consolation.
Oh, they're diving!
But DLSU actually going for the dive here. Might want to over push it, guys, but that's gonna be game 5. Congratulations, DLSU. 2-2 equal scoreboard. Still anybody's game.
Oh my god, what a...
Oh man.
What an interesting game, Arctic. I'd have to say, the picks from Bulacan State University, though it may seem crazy, that could work in some situations, but DLSU set up the perfect counter for it. During those last few fights, I feel like they could have popped Cosmic Radiance sooner when Yesh was gonna come in, but just the timing was a bit off. 1 HP on Yesh before they actually went down, so 2 semifinals where we go the full distance, Arctic. This is this is a really competitive LVL term in my opinion. Just
I agree.
2 best of 5s going the distance. Couldn't ask for more.
Ah, man. At this point, full 10 games for today in the LVL.
Feeling ko galit ka sa BULSU.
Di naman.
Di naman, but
I admire the risk.
yeah.
Just didn't quite work out in the end. But, okay, so, of course, the question here this time around is, with the reverse sweep in play for DLSU, syempre ang gandang momentum nun sa kanila. Gotta feel good about themselves. A lot of renewed faith, in a way. But
Faith.
for Bulacan State University, gaya nga ng question ko kanina, how they could function in these type of situations na from a 2-0, suddenly in a 2-2, the risk of losing out on the finals, we'll just have to see how they deal with it based on their performance in the next game right here. But final thoughts, Chisto, before we head on to break.
I want to see more weird stuff from Bulacan State University. I feel like they need to cheese their way to win against De La Salle University.
You know what? Katarina was like, their Katarina from the group stage, that was like tier 1. Master Yi Tari composition from tier 1, take it all the way to tier infinity.
They can do some more weird stuff. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
patch
can in all
8.0
fairness.
Yeah, they can. So I think that's what you guys will have to watch out for in the next and final game for tonight. It will decide who USD Teletigers will face in our final.
So we've been your casters. I'm Mark. With me is Chisel. Stay tuned for the epic conclusion of our semifinals here at the 2018 LOL Varsity League Spring Playoffs. Kita-kits for game number 5. Silver Scope. Yep, that's going to be the stun set up right there. Redemption has some pop earlier on Spring coming in from the backside, but Yesh just gets decimated. Unfortunately, this could be the last stand for Bulacan State University as members of them fall 1 by 1. It's only Ralph and Empyrean that's going to survive, but with bot lane for BULSU already behind as is, I think it's going to be the Silver Sprays playing into Ichisto. That's going to be Inhibitor turret. You're going to get the Inhibitor. Easy takedown onto the Nexus turret as well. Nexus turrets are gonna fall. Empyrean in. Well, just Empyrean at this point. Rob already did go down. Actually gets the kill onto Karma, but that's just a minor consolation.
Oh, diving!
But DLSU actually going for the dive here. Might want to over push it, guys, but that's gonna be game 5. Congratulations, DLSU. 2-2 equal scoreboard. Still anybody's game.